Welcome to another training tape put out by the Iowa High School Athletic Association. My name is Monte Tilgner, and I'll be taking you through 12 plays that occurred in the last couple weeks of this season. We're going to look at several plays here involving potential roughing the kicker and want to make sure that we understand when we have roughing and so on. So let's take a look at the contact on this kicker on this first play. And you can see the contact is slight, and it's not to either the plant leg or the kicking leg. It's just slight contact to the body. So we would not want any flag on this. Generally, running into the kicker is called if the contact is to the kicking leg or the body. Roughing the kicker is generally called if the contact is to the plant leg, because that's a more serious foul against that kicker and more potential for injury. If the contact is forceful enough, contact to the body or either leg can be called roughing. And less force is needed to be roughing to the plant leg, more force needed to be roughing if it's the kicking leg, and even more force needed if we're going to have roughing if it's just contact to the body. So on that one, again, that's one we would want not want any foul on the play. Just not a lot of contact there. He goes down pretty hard, but not a lot of contact there. Good no call. It looks like we got a flag. I think they picked this one up, actually. All right, next one. Take a look at this one. And again, very little contact. It's to the kicking leg, but very little contact. If you would have a foul, this would be a 5-yard foul. And we've got 4th, and it looks like about 13 here. We need to understand that running into the kicker is not a PSK foul, because one aspect of PSK is that we need that foul to be beyond the line of scrimmage. So other fouls that are not PSK, running into the kicker, roughing the kicker, running into the snap, or roughing the snapper, I should say, pull and shoot plays are also not PSK type fouls, even though they are against the defense during a kicking play. So let's take a look at this one. Okay, again, if I go back and go into slow motion, we just have very little contact. It's even hard to tell if he makes contact. Maybe just a hair of contact to that kicking leg. So we would not want to flag at all for that one. Good position by our back judge on this catch. But remember, we want you stationary. So you can see he's just coming in just right there. If you could be settled in and stopped right there, you've got that perfect angle looking in at this receiver and at these players closing down on him. So overall, good job on the play by the back judge. Next one. This is one where we would want roughing called, even though it's to the body. This would be roughing. This is a very forceful contact to the body of the kicker. Now, this snap is high, but he takes a good step here. He regains his composure. So the defense should know that we're going to have a kick in this case. And that contact would be 1. So we've got a high snap. He gets the ball. He takes a good solid step there, and then he gets hit hard into the body. That's one where we would want a roughing call, even though we had the snap high. All right, so let's look at potential blocks here. Coming back, setting up a good wall here of blockers. We just got to make sure that these are all legal and not blindside then. So as we slowly continue here, you can see 64 sees him coming, playing his day. 21 is kind of announcing himself, I'm going to block you. 1 potential here on number 9. You can see number 9 also sees that block coming and braces for it and blocks number 1 as well. So those are not going to be blindside block fouls. Here's another one. Again, blocker sees him coming, puts his hands out front. So not a block in the back. Another one where the blocker sees him coming. Block is initiated with the hands. So even though that's a forcible one, that is not an illegal blindside block. Not so much because it's from the side, not from the side, but he sees it's coming. He's able to defend himself, and that block is definitely, he has the hands out front to initiate that block, and then that guy kind of runs through him. So good job of not having any blindside blocks by this team. Very well coached. Okay, here's another situation. This is not going to be roughing the kicker. We do have very forceful contact, but it is not reasonably certain that a kick would be made. One thing to take a look at is we always need to know where the snap is. We're at the -48 with the snap, and you'll see why this is relevant here in a second. So we got a snap that goes way over the kicker's head. So right now we need to be thinking, you know, one, our line judge did release, and he should at the snap. If you see this, line judge, as you're going down and you see this, that everyone's stopping and going back this way, obviously you can put on the brakes and stop and officiate this play and help out. Our headline judge should be holding this line of scrimmage because he's supposed to, and you can see he's doing a great job. He's actually coming back a little bit, knowing this guy's going to pick it up. I wouldn't come back because we need someone on that line of scrimmage. So just hold that line of scrimmage. Okay, so this guy picks it up and spins and kicks it all kind of in one motion. There's definitely no way to know he's going to kick that ball. So roughing is going to be off here. All right, now let's look at what happens with the ball. Ball's bouncing. Our line of scrimmage, remember, initially was here again. So that ball is behind the line of scrimmage, which means either team can pick it up and advance it. So the kicking team could pick this ball up and advance it. They would need to get it beyond the line to gain. This ball ends up just rolling dead. But my comments here are, you know, we could not have roughing unless it's reasonably certain a kick would be made. Not going to be. So we're not going to have roughing. And remember, snap was at the -48, so Team K could advance, but they would have to get the ball beyond the line to gain to get a first down. Otherwise, it's just going to be Team R's ball at the dead ball spot. Now, this is a similar play. We've got a lot of guys that start doing this rugby kicking, and once they take a couple of steps and get outside that free blocking zone, roughing is off. So roughing's off right now by this guy. He's like, oh, crap, that guy's going to block it. So he ends up changing direction, comes back, and now he's on the run. So unless he stops and takes a couple of steps like a normal kick, roughing is off. So in this case, the last second, he's like, oh, I'll just kick it. Well, roughing's off the table there. So we would not have roughing because it's not reasonably certain that a kick would be made. Okay, this is an interesting one. We had this on one other training tape. Remember, a WWE toss are not tackles, they're flags. So this is one where he picks him up and throws him down on his head. Very dangerous situation, and a nice job here by the crew to get a flag down on this. So one comment I have is if they kind of pick him up and, you know, toss him sideways or backwards, but not dump the guy over, you know, over their head or on that guy's head, you know, then we would not necessarily have a foul. But this one most certainly is. So let's take a look here. You can see picks him up and just dumps him right on top of his head. If I go back now, we want to get whistles as soon as we have progress stop. So here's our contact. You know, it's one-on-one. We're going to let him fight it out a little bit. Right now, this guy he's no longer making any effort to go forward, or he's not going forward at all. He's going dead backwards. Even though it's one-on-one, we want to be our whistles at this point. And remember, we're going to have progress hanging. We have forward progress hanging right here at the, what is that, the 42.5, 43-yard line, somewhere right in there is where we have progress hanging. And so we're going to have progress at that 40, let's leave him the 43-yard line. However, with this action, dumping him on his head, we're going to have actually a dead ball personal foul, okay? And we're going to go 15, attack 15 on from this forward progress spot, all right? And that is 100% a foul, very dangerous situation. See our flag coming in from a referee. I think we had multiple flags on the play. And the crew actually talked about making it a flagrant personal foul and ejecting this player. They did not. I think it might have been supported, probably would have been supported if they did, but I think it's all right that we just got in with the personal foul. But just remember, ones like this, we need to have a flag down, and we just got to get it because we can't prevent the action, but we can make sure we get it penalized. Okay, this is just a great play. I don't think I've ever seen this play before, and just a reminder that offensive pass interference. We just talked about forward progress hanging, and offensive pass interference is a hanging type foul as well. So on this play, we have OPI hanging, and this would just be an outstanding call if you got it. So let's take a look at it. We're going to have a backward pass here. So the snap is at the 7. We're going to have a backward pass to from about the 7-yard line, and it's going to be caught backward by this guy in motion at about the 9, and then he's going to throw it downfield, and this guy's wide open. So this is the receiver that's going to block. He starts out at the 8. He's going to go downfield and block this defender starting at the 5-yard line. So let's just take a look. There's our backward pass, definitely caught. First touched here at about the 8.5, 9-yard line. So definitely a backward pass. And here's our block going on right now. So remember what I said is what I do when I see this is I just say block, block out loud. I say block, block, and that way I know I've got OPI hanging. And now I'm just waiting for a forward pass that crosses the line of scrimmage, and then I'm going to put a flag down. So even though this block continues and ends up behind the line of scrimmage, it started in front, and now we've got a guy who's wide open for a touchdown. Okay, so let's go back and take a look at it again. Here we go. Here's our pass release from the 7, backward, touched at the 8 or 9, and then our forward pass. Okay, and if you're thinking about maybe why is this a foul for OPI, the philosophy behind this, the defense sees that we have team A blocking downfield, so they're going to assume it's a run play because they know they can't pass it anymore. They can't block downfield on a forward pass play unless it's caught behind line of scrimmage, which this is definitely not. That's another reason why OPI is hanging, okay, and not an immediate foul once you see blocking downfield. But on this, if they, see this guy downfield blocking, they're going to assume it's a run play. They're going to come up to stop the run, and then all of a sudden, if we pass it, they can't be in position to defend that pass. That's kind of the philosophy behind OPI. So that'd be a great get by somebody on that crew. I don't think we got it, but it would be a tremendous play. So thanks for sending it in to help us all get better. Okay, this is another instance where we have blocking downfield on a forward pass play, but it's not a foul. So let's take a look at this one. First of all, I just point out our keys. So we've got a 3x2 here. We've got 3 receivers at the bottom, 2 at the top. Remember, if we've got trips to either side, our back judge is going to have the outside 2 guys on that strong side. So remember, we number these guys number 1, number 2, number 3 receiver from the outside in, number 1, number 2 receiver here. And our back judge is going to have 1 and 2. Our line judge is going to have our 3 receiver, which means our headline judge is going to have both receivers on the top of the screen. This is our receiver that's going to go downfield and block. So let's take a look. He definitely is blocking downfield, and we have a pass that crosses the line of scrimmage. So why don't we have OPI? Well, remember, OPI is not only hanging, it's a 2-step process. So when you see blocking downfield, you need to check the status of the ball. And if that pass is already in the air to a different defender, when you see that block, we don't have offensive pass interference by rule. So let's go back and take a look at this and kind of look at this 2-step process. All right, so if I'm this H at the top of the screen watching these 2 guys, this is the one I need to see, and there's the first contacts. We want to see this, and right about now it's like, oh yeah, he's blocking downfield. So you're thinking I've got OPI hanging. You turn and look, guess what? Ball is already out of the hands. I think the ball's right here, but the ball's already out of the hands of the quarterback to a different receiver. So we do not have OPI anymore. All right, so we've got blocking downfield, 2-step process, ball's out of the hand of the quarterback to a different receiver. If the quarterback was throwing to this receiver, we would have OPI. But since he's thrown it to this receiver, we do not have OPI for the 2-step process. Okay, swinging gate. It's a good play. We've talked about this one other time, but good to review it again. How do we handle swinging gate? Well, the key is we've got a kicker holder in position. We've got a snapper, kicker holder in position. Therefore, we should be in our normal field goal try mechanics. So we should have this line of scrimmage official who is now under the upright with our back judge. All right. If there's no kicker holder in place for a kick, we're in normal scrimmage play positions with our H here and our line judge down here and our back judge right under the middle. Okay. When they shift, our umpire will go over the ball and he'll prevent the snap until the line of scrimmage official, whoever it is, gets underneath the upright with the B, and then he'll move off the ball and then they can snap it again. So let's take a look at this one. So they do have a kicker holder snapper in position. So we really should have our line judge under the post here with our back judge. But what we have here is they shift now. And my comment here is I noticed our umpire, we just blew it in, okay? And our umpire is holding them from snapping the ball. So once the referee blows it in, they can legally snap it, okay? So you need to be off the ball. And then if they shift, then you're going to go back over the ball and prevent them from snapping it. So right now, we should be backing out. We should be here where we can see the snap. And when they shift, now, umpire, you were there, now come up and get over the ball and prevent him from snapping it until we get our line judge who's coming in. All right, and now we can back out again because we're in position to handle this kick. And a reminder, if the play clock runs out before the snap on this is a delay game on the offense. Next play, tripping foul. Who should see this and what's the enforcement? This is another play sent in here, so a couple comments by the crew who were doing their evaluation of their game. This is the one of the crewmates who put this in. So watch the action on this right tackle. Goes down and then trips. Okay. And this is another comment by the crew. That's enough for a tripping foul. The referee should have transition to this point to that foul, or that block, I should say, as that's the biggest threat. And he should be the one who gets that tripping. Okay. Our line of scrimmage official, we got guys going downfield, so we really should not be concerned with this action. We need to release that. We need to be downfield zoning up with that. Okay, so we do have a foul for tripping, and we should have a foul for tripping, I should say. And what's the enforcement? Well, we've got a personal foul by the offense behind the basic spot, which is the line of scrimmage. So we are going to enforce that from the previous spot. However, we are snapping from the 16-yard line, so we would have a half the distance foul in this case. It is a live ball foul. It's outside of position 1. So we're going to go, my bad, we're going previous spot. So we snapped that ball. We did snap it from position 1. So we would go from position 1, half the distance back to the 8, and we have an incomplete pass, so we're going to be on the snap. Next play, we've got, okay, another one sent in by the crew. So this is what they put in there for their comment. Action by the right tackle to seal the edge is very suspicious, but we're going to take a look. It's not a foul. So good decision. This is my comment. Good decision for no offensive holding and a good mechanics by the L watching receivers. So let's take a look. Again, we're watching this guy right here. We'll go regular speed first. And you're like, wow, that doesn't look so good. Okay, let's go back and take a look in slow motion. You can see he gets the guy on the side, and it looks like he just drives him, and rides him down from the side. So again, we need to see a restriction. We need to see a grab and restriction, and it looks like he just rides him out down to the ground, so that is not a foul. So this is a comment again by the crew. Hard to see if there's enough illegal restriction or if he just rides the defender to the ground. Quarterback is on the move in the opposite direction and pass the ball shortly after that. So that is another thing to factor in there is it at the point of attack? If it's a grab and restrict takedown, we want to flag takedowns unless the play is almost over, being tackled, and that wasn't the case. So if this was a grab and restrict takedown, we would want a flag for holding, even though it's not at the point of attack. My comment is the L looking downfield on the pass play, exactly what he should be doing, and letting the line play be called by the referee and the umpire. So good work there. Good movement by our back judge. So excellent job on that play. Next one we've got screen pass. So this was another one sent in by a crew. This is our last play. So let's just go back and take a look. Okay. So we've had a few of these where we've got in trouble with calling linemen downfield. Okay. We definitely have linemen downfield. But remember, it's when that ball is released and where's the ball touched? The ball is touched at or behind the line of scrimmage. So this is a screen pass, so they could be downfield. They could also be blocking downfield. All right. But we see these linemen, and we're snapping the ball at the 40. When this ball is released, if this wasn't, if even caught this beyond the line of scrimmage, this would not be an eligible player downfield, because when the ball is released, they're at the line of scrimmage. Remember, that's the instant he releases it. That's the problem. It's not when he catches it. Okay? It's when he catches it for blocking downfield in OPI, but in this case, since he touches it behind the line of scrimmage, it wouldn't be OPI anyway. But what the crew talked about in this play was this is going to be called a block in the back by the umpire. And you can see our umpire looking at his hat. He's looking down here. He's looking at this action here. He gets to this late. This block starts out legal. This is the comment by our referee. Block started in front, defensive player turned on him. Did we see the whole block? This would not be a block in the back. Okay, so let's watch this action right here. And again, what we get is a spin and what looks to be a block in the back possibly. And now we've got our umpire who gets to it late, and he's the one who ends up throwing the flag for a block in the back. And it is one that we would not. There's our flag. There's our referee telling the guys to hold the chains. But again, we would not have a block in the back because the block started legal and he turned on him. Okay, so 12 plays, really good plays in it. Again, I think we're planning on doing one, if not two more training tapes. Some great officiating examples from our officials in the playoffs. So stay in tune. If you thought the training tape was valuable for you, give it a thumbs up in YouTube, and we'll talk to you again soon.